The White House, of course, trying to restart agenda with a new Chief of Staff, General John Kelly's first day doing that. We've got former Navy SEAL Carl Higbie, Charlie Gasparino, conservative commentator Ashley Pratte. You know, Carl, you served this country very honorably. You know the discipline, obviously better than many, that comes with being in the military. But a lot of those guys have trouble adjusting in the political world. And I'm wondering how you think General Kelly will do in this one.
You know, I'd challenge that, Neil. I think it's the political world that has trouble adjusting to the military members. It's a new face. I mean, Donald Trump was elected because he was different. He's bringing in a different staff. Look, Reince Priebus was a nice guy, but the problem was, keep in mind that he is a relic from a party that we beat with Donald Trump. So he was brought in to bridge the gap between Paul Ryan and the White House. Didn't happen. The health care failed. So now he's bringing in something. He's bringing in his new muscle. He works very well with military guys. He respects them.
Yeah, but
and
that general's got to be able to
things.
tell him, Carl, you can't do this, sir. Not a good idea, sir.
Oh, I don't think General Kelly will have any problem telling anyone what's on his mind.
All right, fine. Then is the president going to listen to that?
That's the question. You know, I think so. I think
asked
Donald
that
Trump
questions here, Higbie. All right. Now, what do you think? Do you think that'll happen or what? And I'm joking, by the way. I can do that because you're remote, but go ahead.
No, I do think he will listen. Absolutely. Okay. I mean, Donald Trump respects the military more than just about anyone else on that political landscape, so I think that he will.
I think Carl, I love Carl, but I think he's forgetting one salient feature of Donald Trump. He went to military school. During the campaign, Donald Trump tried to liken going to military school to serving in the military. That gives you a certain idea on what he thinks of people. Let's be real clear here. I'm not saying I'm not here to carry Reince Priebus's water. This dysfunction has nothing to do with him. I mean, this has to do with a president of the United States that freelances, that forces aides to say stuff that's totally remarkably inaccurate about crowd sizes and other dumb things. That brings in. I think
it's fair to say Reince wasn't effective at the job. I think we can say that.
But was the president effective in giving him any sort of power over that White House? Now, here's the thing.
He'll give General Kelly that power?
I don't know. Again, if he does, and by the way, this doesn't have to be a political post. You know, one of the good things about his General Kelly could really work well here, because Chief of Staff, if empowered, is kind of like a gatekeeper. Cracks the whip, make sure message is done right, make sure people see the president when they're supposed to see the president, keeps the whole thing contained. That's something that he can do if empowered, and it's a big if.
You know, Ashley, a Chief of Staff really is the gate stop, right? The schedule maker. And this is a freelance president. This is a president who got where he is, not according to these type of restrictions or schedules or set rigid, you know, appointments. So how is a retired general going to get him to do that?
I honestly don't know. I think the interesting part here is the fact that we have a president who continuously likes to say you are fired. He has not really gotten out of the reality TV mindset. He has made it so that way he is the star of the show all the time. He doesn't like it when other people threaten that in any way. So, for example, Sean Spicer, when he came out for his first press conference, he did not like that he became the center of the story and that it was Donald Trump, you know, who was on the back burner there.
Even though he forced him to be the center of the story by lying about the crowd sizes.
So here's what I'm saying. I think he always needs to be the focal point and the center, and I do think the problem here is that Reince Priebus was never actually given a chance to do much of anything. And he was sidelined. And I don't know how that dynamic will work with Kelly in there as Chief of Staff, but what I do see happening is the fact that there are issues legislatively with this administration, and putting in someone like Kelly who doesn't really have that legislative background, how does that play out moving forward when they're looking for legislative accomplishments? Well,
we'll see. I mean, Carl, one thing, I mean, he's an impressive guy. I mean, there's no one who can look at General Kelly's background and the sacrifice he made for this country, losing a son in Afghanistan, that he just reeks gravitas. Is that the type of guy you think, or could tell the president, you know, Mr. President, this approach you're taking is not right? Now, it's up to the president to listen, but I think you're quite right, Carl, that General Kelly would definitely do that, but then it's up to the president to listen.
Absolutely, and I think it comes with a level of force too. I think, look, General Kelly understands that the president's his boss, but I think he's going to be a lot more firm. Look, I know Reince. I think he's a great guy, but he's just not. He didn't have the. He didn't really have the backbone to stand up to Trump like this, and to the point where. Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's also he was part of a party that we beat that he didn't really want there.
So you think the Republicans are the party that we beat?
Well,
Yeah, Donald Trump beat the Republican Party.
No, he was the Republican Party nominee, and Reince Priebus helped him get there.
Yeah, and he had to. He had
helped
to
him
beat
get
the.
there.
I mean, but then just in October, Reince was calling for him to not be the nominee.
No, he was worried whether the Access Hollywood
anyone who stands up to Trump. Anyone who stands up to Trump gets fired. So I really don't know how Kelly can really be successful
But you know,
in this
actually,
role.
the one thing I'll disagree with you and kind of agree with Carl, and not only because Carl can beat me up, but the
you don't think I can beat you up?
Well, actually, you probably could. But you're both on remote, so I'm safe. But I think the president really does want change. He does want to get more discipline in there. And he does acknowledge by this very pick that he needs to work on this. So the question is, sort of like someone who goes into a diet, their intentions are good, right? And then they have to deliver on those goods. Work with the trainer if you want to liken, the general to that. But what do you think of that?
If Trump genuinely wants discipline, I would be shocked by that because nothing so far in these 6 months have shown that he wants to be disciplined.
Why did he pick this guy?
I'm hoping it's because he wants to save some face for this administration here and recognize that maybe they can right the ship and change it. But does that change the president's own behavior? I don't know.
Let's put the last week in perspective. Late last week or early last week, we thought that Anthony Scaramucci was going to be the chief of staff.
That's right.
And look what happened. He did, after everything that transpired over the past week, he turned around and puts a guy that's a 180 from Anthony Scaramucci in as chief of staff. So we got to give him credit for that.
Do you think he was ever entertaining Scaramucci for that job?
Yes,
and then
I do.
It was torpedoed by his behavior. And
I don't know if it was torpedoed by his behavior. I could just tell you that I know he was thinking about it because that the
president was thinking about Scaramucci being the chief.
I've heard that from inside the administration. The other thing I would say is this about the General Kelly, and if you know anything about the military, which I got to know some Marine commandants over the years because I do a little bit of charity work for the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Association.
I have the same background. I played with G.I. Joe. So I think we're both kindred spirits.
You're super qualified for that.
Thank you, buddy.
No, but actually I got to know some of these guys. The military is very political. I mean, these guys become commandant of the Marines and a general. Listen, it's on the merits too,
right?
But there is a political aspect to it.